Hey guys, welcome back. Today we are in my garage, so excuse all the weird noises because I want to talk to you guys about how I organize my husband's toolbox. So I got this for him a few years ago for Christmas, and since then of course he's been collecting tools, and after this past Christmas he got more tools, and then I finally said, okay, we need to organize your toolbox. And he totally agreed. He said, yes, please help me. So I brought him in here and I asked him if he had any specifics on where he wanted anything, because ultimately I'm organizing this for him and his needs and not my needs, so I wanted to make sure that it would be a system that works for him. So he told me a couple things. I wrote them on a sticky note, stuck them in the drawer so I wouldn't forget, and then I started organizing. Just want to show you one amazing product that I used while organizing his toolbox, and that is this. This is a toolbox liner from Craftsman. It is amazing. I tried other ones that were supposedly made for tools, but they weren't because they didn't work. This stuff works. You can get it at Sears. We got ours at Ace. I'm sure you could probably order it online. We went through 1.5 rolls, so that's why we have some left over, and it really works. Your tools, when you line your drawers with these, they go nowhere. So it is a little pricey, but I highly recommend it. We got ours for $16.99 a roll, but the rest of the products I used to organize his toolbox all came from the dollar store. So in general, we really didn't spend a lot of money at all in organizing this. Anyways, I talked too long. Let me get to it. So in this very top section we have all of his bits. So he wanted all of his drill bits here. Over here we have the bits that are in the cases, and they're just stacked by size, and then this is actually an extension of his drill for a hard to reach place, so I keep that up here because of course you need bits for that. And then over here we just have these this container, which I'm pretty sure I got from the Dollar Tree. We have his loose bits, these kind here and those kind over there, so that works for him. And then over here we just have all of his hammer action bits and longer drill bits and things like that. And of course I like to organize with room to grow, so here he has room to grow. Okay, so in this first drawer we have all of his screwdrivers, and I like to line them up from the tallest to the shortest. And back there we just have a set of smaller screwdrivers, and in there's the same thing, and this is another kit of petite screwdrivers. He uses a lot of the teeny tiny ones because he also repairs computers on the side. In this next drawer, we have more screwdrivers. These are the new ones that I got for Christmas, so I wanted to keep them together by brand. Over here are all his little pliers and things, and then back here in this container, I just put more of his looser screwdrivers that he has that doesn't have a special kit or anything like that. So I put that back there. Again, room to grow, and also these tools aren't moving around one bit because of this fabulous liner. Now in this drawer I have all of his ratchets and his bits for that, and then in this little container I have all the loose bits, and this little guy I just got from Staples, and I just put the top right there and set that in there. And of course still going nowhere. All of his wrenches and things like that are over there, and then over here is another toolkit that he doesn't get to too often, and it just kind of fit in that space, so I stuck it there. But if need be, we could always move that and make room for more tools. Now this used to have a flap on it that covered it, but I actually cut it off because I thought that this was such a great organizer in and of itself. So I cut off the top and left this, and that keeps all of them organized nice and neat. Here's the last out of the small drawers, and the commonality here is that these are all cutters. So they're all things to cut with. That's his drywall knife, and I just stuck it behind these two containers so that this way it doesn't move around. This was the only tool that kind of moved around with this protector. And then, actually I'm on a stool, I gotta get down in order to show you this. Okay. So again, I got these two containers from the Dollar Tree. Over here we have like his razor blade and just a few odds and ends. So some of these things that he uses, and this is the key lubricant, and a couple just rubber washers. So these are all just kind of like the odds and ends. They're all fitting in there right now. And then again, this is a smaller razor blade, and these are the razor blade refills. So I just got this container from, again, Staples, and I wanted to make sure that we had a safe place to store all these so we're not rummaging in here and then we cut ourselves. So I put the razor blade in here and the refills in there as well. And that just fits in there. Down below we have this drawer. This is the top of all the larger drawers, and in here I have the hammer and all the things that you kind of use to measure with when you usually use the hammer, so like a level stud finder. We have the measuring tape. We actually have a much larger one we always keep in the house. We have an array of flashlights, so we want to keep this accessible in case the power went out. All of his little clips in here. Again, these containers I got at the Dollar Tree. And then we have his staples here, or his stapler and his staples here as well. So right now he doesn't have enough. I felt like to really put it in a separate container. So this is how it is for now. And of course, more room. Okay, and this next drawer, this is actually the first of the 3 deeper drawers in the toolbox, and in here we just have a few odds and ends. Over here we have all the tapes, masking, duck, electrical, all that sort of thing. Over here we have our sandpapers, just some extra garden hose, and then back here is just a couple odds and ends, the bicycle pump, and I don't even know what that is, but if it's there, so it's going there. We actually have an extra container, which is always good to have on hand, so I put that in there. Plenty of room to grow. Also, I actually want to get a larger container for the sandpapers, but they ran out of the larger ones at my Dollar Tree, so I just settled for a smaller one for now, but that's okay because it still works. Okay, and the second to last drawer, this is another deep drawer. We just have a utility light right there, the more lighting, and this is actually my drill. So we keep it here, and that's it for this drawer for right now. But if he ever gets more tools, I know I can move this out and put that somewhere else, and he would have all this space. And finally, we have his bottom drawer, and in this drawer, we just keep all of my husband's drills. He has at least 3, as you can see. He likes to keep them in the little bags. I actually want to do something a little bit neater, but I'm working on that for a different video and a different time. But for now, they're all in the bottom drawer, and this is where he likes them. He likes to keep it in the very bottom. So that is it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time in my next video. Bye. There's a weird man running around with a golf cart in our neighborhood. Take number 1146.